Hello everyone, welcome to the wood shop. Before we do any work, we need to make sure that we are safe. Always wear safety glasses, hearing protection if necessary, remove jewelry, tie back long hair, tuck in loose clothing, and always wear closed-toed shoes. Hello everybody, welcome to router table safety. Here we are at our router table. We already have our bit installed. This bit is a quarter round bit with a top bearing. What that will do for us is it will round over our piece of wood and create a rounded corner. Sort of like that. It's my really rough, crude drawing. So even though this bit has a bearing on it, which would ride along our nice surface and guide the bit to cut this straight also, I still like to use the fence just because this is a flat, straight piece of wood. And also I'm going to use my paddle with grippy bottom to help me push this through. A nice sharp bit is a good idea. Dull bits are obviously more dangerous. They tend to burn and they tend to require more effort for you to push through, which then causes more accidents. If you have to put in more effort for something, like more force, it's likely to cause an accident more so than a nice sharp bit. Okay, so we have a primary feed direction as indicated here on the fence. That's because the bit spins in this direction. And just like every machine in the shop, we're opposing the direction of the forces of the machine. So the machine is trying to throw our piece of wood this way. And rather than letting it throw the piece of wood that way, it's going to make a cut. And we're going to oppose that force and push this way. Okay? You can make multiple passes. We could drop this bit down and take a little bit off. Raise the bit up. Take another pass. Take a little bit more off. Raise it up again, take a little bit more off, and that's the better way to do it. You get less burning, you get a better surface finish, and it's less stress on the router bit itself. It'll stay sharper for longer if you do smaller and more controlled cuts. Here on the bottom of the router, we can adjust our, there we go, there's a lever here. So you pull on the lever and that will loosen this off and we can drop our bit down. So I'll drop it down to about there. And then we need to lock this back in place. And now we're ready to make our cut. Turn the machine on. So always stay with the machine until it comes to a complete stop, and then you would either want to unplug or disconnect the power in some way to make sure the next person is as safe as possible. So we've created a little bit of a round over on this edge, but because we had our bit lowered, it doesn't quite come to a nice round. We still have a corner here. So if we were to raise up that bit a little bit more and take another pass, we would have a much nicer rounded corner. So I'll raise the bit up now and I'll show you the difference that it makes. Now if we raise it up too much, we're going to have a step because the bottom of that bit has a cutting edge as well, and it will make the rounded part and then it would have a flat step. And I'll show you what that looks like. So it would look like this, opposite to that. It would look like that. Here we go on our second pass. 2 passes. So as you can see, that's a much nicer rounded corner. We don't really have that edge. This could probably be raised up just a tiny bit more, but you get the idea. Now, if we were going to round the other side, we would need to make sure that the bearing is actually going to contact at least the center line of this piece of wood. If it were to contact, if the bottom of our top bearing were to contact further up here, our second cut would make a step inward before it made its round, and we would end up with a less than desirable result. And that's probably not what we're looking for. We're probably looking to have this nice and rounded. So you have to keep that in mind when you're running this for your second pass on the opposite side. It just so happens that this piece of wood is thick enough to get 2 proper quarter rounds with this bit. This is about a 1/2 inch radius. So now that we've made our bull nose cut, we've done a quarter round on both sides, once and twice. I just wanted to talk about different types of bits. This is a ball nose end cutter, and we could use it to make a rounded profile either that way or this way or all the way right in the center, rounded this way. So it's important to think about the profile of a bit as it's installed in the router table and how the fence is oriented in relation to the bit. So right now, this quarter round bit is shaped similar to this bit, but this is actually a cove bit. So this would cut, ooh, don't drop them, it's bad for them. This would cut something like that shape into your piece of wood, similar to this ball nose. So thinking about where the bearing would ride and what the cutter is actually going to do for you. So thinking about this as half of the bit is going to be covered by the fence, or the bearing would ride along a surface like so, or like so, and remove this portion of the material. There are lots of different profiles and things like that. This is just a flat end mill to make a shape similar to that. And then there's multiple type profiles in one. This would produce something like this. So if you're looking for a specific type of router bit, sometimes it helps to draw the profile that you think would look nice on an edge, and then shade out the part that you think should go away. And that can help you to visualize what your project might look like after it has been run through the router table. That's it for router safety. Thank you for watching, and we'll see you next time.